Okay, Al, we got a bunch of devices here that I know you're a specialist at using. Show us what they do, Al.
Okay, what I have here in my hand is a device called a nonlinear junction detector. And what this device is for is identifying electronics that could be buried in walls, in furniture, in cupboard drawers. What this does is it uses a transmitter inside the device, and it radiates the area in a directional antenna down to objects. So what this does is, as it's going around, it's looking for those junctions of diodes and transistors, even if they're turned off. So it's just a characteristic.
It's the combination of the two.
That's right. And it's the only thing that will do that. And with this, I'm able to identify electronic devices in tables, in cupboards, in walls.
How far away, Al?
You can do a ceiling of a room by standing on the floor if you turn up the power. This has an adjustable power level on it. Because you have so many devices that have diodes, transistors in them, it tells you have to investigate further. You have to look into what is making that. Is it a legitimate purpose that it's there for? Your key fob for your car will set that off.
But of course that would be in your pocket, it wouldn't be hiding in the wall.
But if it's in the desk of a corporate business, you may find a calculator, you may find a key fob, you may find a tape recorder.
So if you lose your keys, Al, will you find them with this?
You'll find the key fob, you won't find the keys.
I see you have an infrared device.
I do. This is my FLIR, and this is probably one of the most useful sweep devices that I have. What this does, a byproduct of electronics is heat. So any power supply, any transmitter, any camera will produce heat. So by taking this and scanning a room, I can tell you if there's a pinhole camera in a wall, I can tell you if there's a power supply, and you're going to find power supplies for laptops and everything else, but you must identify what that power cube is doing, what's it powering, because electronics requires power. So I check every thermal signature that I find in a room to find out if it's legitimately there. To get information out of a business or a location, one very common way is using radio frequency transmitters. When we have identified a signal that should not normally be in that area, because there's always signals around us that are transmitting, your radio stations, your FM radio stations, Coast Guard, aviation, all these, your taxis, all these have radios in their cars that are always transmitting back and forth.
What about cell phones, Al?
Cell phones are also in the radio band, and that is something that will also show up on the spectrum analyzer in the form of energy. So when I find a signal, I have an area of a room that is important to me. I then have to identify, is that energy coming from that room? Because if it's not coming from that room or nearby, it's not as important, because there are those normal signals that are out there. This here is a more sophisticated spectrum analyzer. It also has what we call a waterfall display on it. So it shows energy as it's appeared, and it records it. So what I'm trying to show here is that we have actual cellular bands that you were talking about. These are cell towers in this particular area around us. And right now there's no cell phones talking, because I would know what they would show up.
Wow, so you don't probably even use cell phones in the car, do you?
Actually, cell phones are one of the most safest forms of communications going. I recommend that to most of the clients. To actually intercept a cell phone, people would have to have equipment that would cost $500,000, and they would also have to have the license to get that equipment or be able to get it. It's not something that's within reach of just anyone.